All right, so let's get right into it. How on earth does a world champion rugby team, the #1 team in the world, by the way, playing at their home fortress, not just lose, but completely fall apart? This isn't just a story about a bad game. No, this is about a shocking collapse, a truly extraordinary public reaction from their coach, and the massive, high-stakes reset that came next. This is the anatomy of the backlash.
And it all kicked off with this. I mean, wow. At the press conference right after the game, instead of the usual cliches and excuses, the Springboks coach, Rassie Erasmus, came out with one of the most brutally honest things you will ever hear a coach say. No spin, no PR talk, just pure, unfiltered honesty that told you everything you needed to know. Whatever was coming next was going to be just as dramatic as the loss itself.
And if you want to understand just how bad it was, you only need to look at one number: 38. After storming into a massive lead, the Springboks let the other team score 38 points without scoring a single point in reply. Think about that. For more than an hour of rugby, nothing. It was a total system failure. Okay, so first up, the collapse. How did this happen? How does a 22-point lead at a place that's supposed to be an unbreakable fortress just evaporate into thin air?
I mean, just look at this. It's like watching two completely different teams. For the first 18 minutes, it was classic, unstoppable Springbok rugby. They were scoring for fun, the Wallabies looked lost, and then the tap just turns off completely. For the next 62 minutes, they couldn't get a single point on the board, while Australia just ran all over them. It's a staggering reversal of fortune.
And this wasn't just any old loss. The fallout was huge, and it was immediate. We're talking about a historic defeat here. It was the first time Australia had won at that stadium since 1963. That is a long, long time. And to pour salt in the wound, it knocked them right off their perch as the #1 ranked team in the world.
Okay, so the collapse on the field was shocking, right? But what happened next? The coach's reaction, well, that was a whole other level. It was pretty much a masterclass in how to take public responsibility.
And here's what was so incredible. He didn't blame the players. He didn't blame the ref. He pointed the finger right at himself and his coaching staff, putting them squarely in the firing line. He said they got it terribly wrong and that they should be the ones under pressure. He just owned the failure, 100%, right there in front of everyone. And he was also incredibly specific about why they failed. He laid it all out. He said his world champion team didn't just get beaten, they got bullied. And he listed the areas, the lineouts, the breakdown, their physicality, their tactics, and maybe the worst one of all, he said they lost the fight right till the end. It was a complete breakdown of their core identity, of everything they stand for.
So you've got this brutal public diagnosis of the problem. What's the solution going to be? Well, it had to be just as radical. It was time to bring out the axe.
10. That's it. Just 10. That's the number of changes he made to the starting team for the next game. This is not a little tweak. This is a complete demolition and rebuild. He sent a crystal clear message. A performance like that will absolutely not be tolerated.
But what's really telling here isn't just the number of changes, it's who he brought in. Look at the key positions. He went for the old guard, the veterans, the World Cup winners. He swapped out exciting young talent for guys like Handré Pollard and Willie LaRue, guys with a ton of experience. The message couldn't be clearer. In a crisis, you go with the guys who've been there and done it, the ones who can steady the ship.
Okay, so this brings us to the philosophy behind all these changes. Because this was about way more than just swapping out players. This was a strategic shift right back to their core identity, back to their Bok DNA.
Basically, the feeling was they tried to get too fancy. They played this new, expansive, running style of rugby, and it just blew up in their face. So, the new plan? Go back to basics. Stop trying to run around them and start running through them. The new game plan was all about suffocating the opposition up front and just winning that physical war.
And a huge part of that DNA, that power game, is this thing they call the bomb squad. It's their signature move. You stack your bench with 6 massive forwards and only 2 backs. The strategy is pretty simple but absolutely devastating. Wait until the other team's big guys start to get tired, and then you bring on a whole new set of giant, fresh forwards to to overwhelm them and close out the game with brute force.
So the stage was set. The team was overhauled. The strategy was reset back to their roots, and the mission was clear. This wasn't just about winning another rugby game. The coach had framed this as a mission of redemption. It was about making things right for themselves, for the jersey, and for the entire country they felt they'd let down.
So what do you make of all this? Was it a masterstroke in leadership and accountability? Or was it just a panic move from a wounded champion who'd been backed into a corner? The only way to find out was on the field. The backlash was coming.